Question number 1 of 2020, Honorable Member for Banjul Central. Thank you.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Honorable Speaker, can the Honorable Minister for Interior inform this August Assembly if there are any measures in place to mitigate or stop the use, possession, and trafficking of cannabis in the country? Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Member. Honorable Speaker, I am pleased to inform the Honorable Members that the Government of the Gambia, through my ministry, has designed and implemented strategies to address the disturbing surge of cannabis abuse and trafficking, covering supply suppression, that's enforcement, as well as demand reduction, public awareness sensitization. In line with the international standard and best practices, non-custodial sentencing measures such as community service, counseling, and mentoring are provided for the first, second, and third time offenders in cannabis possession cases. Additionally, additional efforts include the upgrading of the drug demand reduction unit of the Drug Law Enforcement Agency, Gambia, to a directorate, and the implementation of robust and accelerated public engagement sensitization activities targeting mainly the youth who constitute the majority of the victims. Series of school outreach activities in the form of symposium, drama, debate, quiz competition are conducted in schools across the country alongside the establishment of the anti-drug clubs in several schools. Similarly, community outreach programs targeting traditional and opinion leaders, youth, women groups, as well as the radio sensitization programs are ongoing. Furthermore, DILIC has signed an operational memorandum of understanding with their counterpart in Senegal and Guinea-Bissau. Within the frame of this agreement, joint operations named Operation Open Roads are conducted with the aim of strengthening sub-regional cooperation in drug interdiction and nurturing interoperability among the law enforcement agencies of the three countries.
Supplementary, Banjul.
Also, serious lobbying with partners is in progress to construct a rehabilitation center to cater for the needs of abusers. This will complement other efforts to reduce the demand since victims will have access to various support services to facilitate their reform. I therefore invite this August Assembly to consider if matters regarding the funding is bring before them for the actualization of this initiative. Thank you.
Banjul Central. Supplementary question.
Yes, supplementary. Honorable Minister, there are many allegations that security officers are always involved in the trafficking of cannabis. Can you please shed light on this?
Thank you very much for that question. I think I totally agree with you. In some instances, security officers are arrested. Just in a couple of weeks ago, some officers of the army are arrested. So I will not dispute your decision. But, however, wherever you have good ones, you will still have bad ones among us. So we're trying to identify them and then weed them out if possible, so that at least the efforts to fight against drug abuse can be strengthened. Thank you.
Thank you very much, honorable members. You just have to bear with me because I see so many tags up and we can only allow 7. So I'll go by the list that I have, so others will have to wait. Thank you. Honorable member for Sanementeren. Thank you. Yes.
Sorry, Madam, my question has been addressed by the
Good, so somebody, yeah. Banjul South was on, yes, we are all on the list, but we have to go
Thank you,
accordingly.
Madam Speaker.
We all cannot be on our feet at the same time.
Honorable Speaker, instead of having to stop the use and possession, can the Honorable Minister not try to control? Because as far as I know, there has been research that have identified some benefits of cannabis. So in effect, it is not totally bad. For example, in some forms of epilepsy, can we weigh the options of the good and the bad and try to control rather than stop?
I am not expert in medical field, and as such, I don't think I can answer that question to your perfection, to your understanding. I am not an expert in medical field. I think that this question could be directed better to the health minister here. Thank you.
Albadibu, thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, my issue is also pertaining to the use of cannabis as a medicine, because some people are using the roots as a herb. In an event that those people are arrested with the roots to use it as a traditional medicine, what is your take on that?
I think I maintain my position on that. And I would appreciate if the Honorable Minister of Health is here, you can ask him those questions to bring things to light. Thank you.
Nominated member, Jaite.
Honorable Minister, this question is very close to my heart because I live in the heart of trafficking, I would say, and that is Kololi, Taban, Queen's Head Junction, opposite Willis. And I've engaged the drug squad people on this issue several times, and I'll take this opportunity for you to investigate what is happening in this area. Drug squad is there every day. Even in my house, after 12 midnight, they will jump over the fence following people. I've had this issue with them. But the root of the problem is not them coming every day, and the youths are accusing them of taking bribes, arresting them, taking bribes from them and bringing them back. And it's the same process. And now hard drugs are being trafficked around that area. Is there anything you can do to shut down that area if we are really serious of controlling trafficking in this country? Because that is the heart of trafficking in this nation, and it's Queen's Head and Willis. Thank you.
If all those activities are happening around that location, it's very unfortunate because I witnessed police patrols being conducted almost every night, and I'm personally out almost every night up to 2 o'clock. If it's happening, I think I will engage the Director General of the Drug Law Enforcement Agency to do something about it as soon as possible. But the other part of your question, I think I cannot, whether I have the power at this point to at least close that area. That needs some stakeholders' involvement, and I will discuss with them. Thank you.
Please remember that there are time frames attached to questions, supplementary questions and answers. So if we take about 2 or 3 minutes, in making a statement before we come to the answer, I'm afraid I'll have to stop it. Thank you. Honorable Member for Basse.
Madam Speaker, thank you. The question is about mitigating or stopping the use, possession, and trafficking of cannabis in the country. I do understand that hemp is a variety of cannabis sativa plant. Derived products are found in our markets. What is the position of the ministry towards this variety, or the derived products of this variety?
As far as the law stands, hemp and cannabis are all classified under one category, unless this Honorable House remove hemp from cannabis.
Well, I'm not
Sorry.
sure whether the question has been answered.
It has not been
really,
answered.
but
Can I
you've
re-ask the question?
exhausted. You've answered. Ask your question. You have exhausted your 1 minute. Let's allow him. You're not very satisfied. Yeah, let him explain further or respond further. More clarification, please.
Then, if you can ask the question again, probably, I don't know, if I missed the question.
Thank you very much for the opportunity.
Direct, so that.
Thank you for the opportunity. I'm just concerned about hemp, which is a variety of cannabis sativa plant. Its derived products are found in our markets. Hence, the question is about mitigating and stopping the use of and possession of trafficking cannabis in the country. What is the stand of the ministry towards this product?
I think I definitely get your question. My thing is that hemp is classified under cannabis, and cannabis production is prohibited and its usage is prohibited. So if there are products that have component of hemp in them, we have to know the percentage of that component in those products. You know, so that requires research on it to see whether, because they are prohibited for a purpose. So if their usage for other medical purpose did not affect or contradict why they are banned, then we can look at that. But as far as the law stands as at now, the hemp is considered as cannabis sativa. It's a variety, but still it covers the whole cannabis category.
Thank you. Talinding, please. 1 minute for your question.
Thank you, Ma, for giving me the floor. Honorable Minister, you stated in your answer that most of the victims of these drug abusers are youth, and some of them might be juvenile offenders. What is your ministry doing to mitigate such? Because there is a serious conflict between the Children Act and the Drug Act to stop these children or to prosecute them.
I'm not aware of the conflict between the act, these two acts, unless you at least you broaden your question to cover the difference. Then I will be able to answer your question properly.
Yes. What I'm explaining about is conflict between the Children Act, because sometimes these juvenile offenders, if you arrest them, you cannot put them into cell or you prosecute them. It's what the Act is saying. Or sometimes you need to put them in a comfort zone. Sometimes they might even be released. They are not talking to court. So I don't know whether you are working on anything to.
I think there is a need for us to go into the act properly, because we have to look at the age of criminal responsibility. You know, the law provides the age of criminal responsibility. The manner in which you are going to be, your custody is going to be taken, that's where the difference comes in. Certain age, you are criminally responsible for your act. So, but for juveniles, category of juveniles, we have age up to 16 years, you are considered as juvenile. Then the manner in which the police will take your custody is where the difference is. They will separate you completely from adult offenders. Certain rights are also given to you, like certain rights are given to female offenders. Well, that's different. I don't know whether I answered your question properly, but you bring in, you said there is a difference, there is a conflict between the two, the Children Act and the Drug Law Enforcement Act. So I'm trying to highlight that, but then your question can follow after. But I've not, what I picked up from your listening is that what I've asked me to answer this way is that you brought in the conflict between the two laws. So I have to clarify that. Personally, I have not seen that difference in the laws. All I've seen is that the manner in which care and custody of prisoners are taken. Juvenile prisoners, female prisoners, and male prisoners.
Honorable member, probably you may wish to pursue your question further. Thank you. Honorable member for Serekunda.
Honorable Speaker, the issue is measures being taken. would those measures not include real civic education on the issue and what is really being done to raise greater civic awareness on the issue of the drug?
Thank you very much, Honorable Member. I think your advice on that is important. That's why I already mentioned radio sensitization and then and other programs, and this includes civic education. Thank you.
Central Badibu, did you ask a supplementary? You did, okay.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Minister, isn't there a need for some form of house cleaning at the level of the police force in order to bring about an effective control of drug trafficking? Since it is attested that they are also involved, some of them are involved. Those who are supposed to control are involved. So control becomes difficult if there isn't any house cleaning taking place at the level of the police force.
I think actions are already taken against anybody found wanting on that aspect. So mostly they are dismissed. Quite a number of them officers are dismissed. But the trend now is not even law enforcement officers. The recent arrests were people from different units. So, and then action has already been taken against those officers.
Thank you. Question number 2 of 2020 by the Honorable Member for Fonyi Berefet. Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, can the Honorable Minister for Interior tell this August Assembly if his ministry has any effective mechanism that can limit road accidents which continue to claim lives countrywide?
Thank you, Honorable Member. Honorable Speaker, may I inform the Honorable Members that my ministry, through the Office of the Inspector General of Police, is working hard to reduce road accidents. The following measures are currently being employed: the placement of traffic cones to serve as indicators for speed limits in sharp and bend junctions, ongoing public sensitization on road safety for drivers, pedestrians, and other road users, on FM station, GRTS, and other private radio stations. Increasing the number of police presence to ensure that road users are safe, thus reduce road accidents. My ministry also, in collaboration with the Ministry of Transport, Works and Infrastructure, has established a National Committee on Road Safety, housed at the Ministry of Transport, with the aim of coordinating road safety initiative as mentioned above. In addition, my ministry continues to engage with NRA on the construction of the sleeping police, erection of road signs, and marking of roads. Thank you.
Thank you. Yes, Honorable Member, Fonyi Berefet.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Minister, would you agree with me that the mechanisms I have just mentioned has been here for so long? And considering our ranking in terms of traffic worldwide and sub-regional, is very undesirable. Would you tell us if you have something different that we consider adequate in terms of limiting road accidents?
I'm not sure whether other countries are using the same different approach, but this is the international standard that we are applying. What I want to base our frequency of accidents is on the attitude of drivers.
Have another supplementary? Yes, go ahead.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. The assumption is mostly based on assumption that probably it's due to careless driving, not qualified person being issued a license. Would the Honorable Minister consider conducting a research that would be a person to really determine the root causes of accidents, and that the outcome of that research will be able to determine what the solutions would be.
Thank you very much. The ministry continues to conduct research on this issue, and currently there is a team, during I sanctioned the research on this issue. But all the previous research indicates that, one, the road conditions is linked to road conditions, the driver's comportment, and also vehicle conditions. These are so far that is what we have. Because most of the accidents drivers are charged for dangerous driving or careless driving. And dangerous driving shows your conduct and also the condition of the vehicle. If your conduct, if a responsible driver will not have driven a vehicle in a manner that you drove a vehicle, then your conduct is below that standard. Then the vehicle also, the standard of the vehicle also, the condition of the vehicle also dictates. If a skillful and competent driver will not have driven a vehicle under that condition, and you drove it under that condition, then you are also liable for this. But apart from the condition of the vehicle and the driver's attitude, the road conditions also contribute a lot to accidents. We can see for ourselves, where the roads are seriously bumpy, there is minimal number of accidents. But where you erect fine roads, the tendency of accidents being happening is there. So what we can do best as of now is to erect at intermittent distance sleeping police officers to reduce the speed of vehicles, because people are not taking heed to traffic signs in this country. So what we can do, but it's also very frustrating sometimes to other members of society if you put sleeping policemen on certain locations, they query a lot. But that is what you can do to minimize road accidents. I've traveled from Dakar to Kaolack, a lot of sleeping policemen. From Kaolack to Sokol, the same thing. But when they did that, there is a minimal number of accidents. I think what we can safely do is that if the public is not going to query much about it, is to put a lot of sleeping police this thing at high and rules. Thank you.
Thank you. Honorable Minister, our in-house rules, that is our standing orders, allow you 2 minutes to respond. So probably if you can just directly answer the question that is posed. Honorable nominated member, Seka.
Thank you very much, Ma. I have a statement it's just like a question, but also a little thing, for 1 minute. What I'm saying here is that sometimes it's the issuance of license, because I heard somebody saying that in the Gambia, it's very easy to have license. You can even sit at your house and then the license will find you in your house. So is that certain? And if so, what mechanisms are put in place?
I'm not disputing that this may likely happen, because we are in a society, our social setting is such that a lot of things happen. But I'm not disputing that. But we are doing everything possible to stop that. Because we sensitize officers to know that if people do not go through right testing, the tendency of them having accidents is there, and then the lives are going to be lost also. I appreciate your question very well, but then we are doing something about that, and we're going to establish a vigorous testing system come next year.
Thank you. Lower Salum.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Minister, don't you think getting $850 doesn't give you license? What is your plan now, taking back license to police? Because as far as before, it mitigate the road accident, because before issuing your license, you must pass through a procedures, and now it's not happening. What is your plan now, bringing back license to police? Thank you.
I think we are taking the same procedure in the issuance of license. You have to undergo testing. You obtain a testing certificate from the testing officer, then there you can go to obtain your license from the company. When you talk about renewal of license is also there. Most license holders are subject to vigorous test. Then if you want to renew, even if you want to renew also, there are certain conditions that has to be tested. You know, your eyesight should be tested, because from year 2019 to year 2020, probably you have some eye problem that can lead you to be disqualified. But these are some of the provisions that are there, and then we are applying it. Whether they are strictly applied, that I don't know, but I will engage the Inspector General of Police on those matters.
Thank you. Sebastian Jal.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I think I should be the one, or I'm one of those potential people to catch your eye. Madam Speaker, my question is it...
You see, I will cut your time limit then, because you have 1 minute and you're talking about catching my eyes. My eyes...
Yeah, because I have been...
I have to look at every angle. So I'm just a human being, so please.
Madam Speaker. Okay, my question is it not important, Honorable Minister, for you to have a policy that would retrain all drivers, especially the young ones?
The competence of drivers, when they are tested and they are not qualified everywhere, it lies on them to capacitate themselves. We will not have the resources to train everybody. That's going to be a very difficult task for us. But we have the authority to reject you if you don't fulfill the requirements. And it's up to you now to go and then find somewhere to learn. This is what is going to be applicable not only to drivers in the coming year, but also to vehicles. We won't want to see roadworthy vehicles blind on our roads. Thank you.
Honorable Member for Jara East. Oh, sorry, it's Jara West. Thank you.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Honorable Minister, I can attest to your having speed bumps as deterrents, because we are benefiting. But still, there are numerous other areas that need to be put in place, particularly the schools. Could you give consideration to approaching the National Roads Authority for the installation of more speed bumps or sleeping police?
This forms part of the signboard that we are engaging the National Road Authority on, and possibly very soon you will see, because signboards are erected in most of the schools, and where busy schools are normally attended to by traffic officers in the morning, especially on rush hours, where you look at from Serekunda to Brikama, you find around most of the schools police officers standing there to ensure that kids cross easily to their schools. But notwithstanding, erecting signboards there is not only enough for us. I think the physical presence of officers at those locations is also important.
Thank you. Jara West.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Honorable Minister, of course, sleeping police are very important, but if you look at most of these fatal accidents on the main road are normally caused by the trucks parking beside the road. Do you think the traffic unit should be moving along the country to see those parking trucks beside the road to go off-road? Because most of the accidents are caused by these parking trucks. Thank you.
You are quite right. In recent past, we encountered a lot of accidents caused in that manner. But the police are currently very constrained regards to towing vehicles. The towing vehicles they have as of now can only tow small vehicles. Trucks cannot be towed. And then if trucks have problem on the highway, normally we engage the bigger companies to at least to help us to tow us out of this thing. And sometimes it's very, very costly to tow a bigger truck from the road to elsewhere. But we are doing our best to make sure that a request has already been sent to my ministry we're going to engage the finance minister to at least have 2 or 3 towing vehicles ready for us. Thank you.
Lower Fuladu West.
Thank you very much. My question has already been addressed.
Okay.
Yeah.
Then Sami.
Thank you very much, Madam Speaker, for giving me the floor. Honorable Minister, did you talk to the communities in terms of where they want these sleeping police to be?
I don't think some of these communities are not expert in the area of traffic management. They will tell you exactly where they don't want it. Well, probably that would be the best place where it should be erected. So that's why we're conducting research, the frequency of accidents, where it happens. You know, recently around Kanlaji, it's not Kanlaji, Sibano, that's where the economic this thing is. A lot of complaints comes to me, and I've just sent that information, to see, and I've also engaged, we have written to the economic commander, so that at least we go and look at the place and see how best to, at least if the checkpoint at that place could be moved elsewhere, because I understand it's at a bend, and it's causing a lot of havoc to long vehicles. So we engage in it, but to say where communities are not experts in the area. So we engage the experts to conduct assessment and know exactly where the sleeping policemen should be erected. But at a personal level, I want to put them at a distance before the village and a distance after the village, so that will help. If it's a big village that has a long distance, then within the length of the village also, 2 or 3 other distances can be erected for the drivers to use their speed while they transit through the village.
Thank you very much. Question number 3 of 2020 by the Honorable Majority Leader and Member for Kumbo South.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, it could be recalled that on March 16, 2019, Buba Drame of Gunjur Berending allegedly shot and killed Buba K. Jame at his orchard in Gunjur, Kumbo South constituency, West Coast region. Can the Honorable Minister for Interior inform this August Assembly what efforts his ministry had taken to bring Buba Drame of Gunjur Berending to justice since his arrest in March?
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. I'm trying to trace the question on my...
I know you have many questions, but it's question number 3 of 2020.
Honorable Speaker, I'm pleased to inform honorable members that Buba Drame has been arrested on the 22nd of February 2020 at Gunjur Berending, Kombo South District in the West Coast region of the Gambia. He was subsequently cautioned, charged, and put under police custody. The following morning, being the 24th of February 2020, the matter was mentioned at Brikama Magistrate Court and subsequently referred to Brikama High Court. He is currently remanded in Mile 2.
Point of order.
Order.
Honorable Speaker, no question should be asked for a matter that is before a court. I say no question should be asked when a matter is before a court.
I mean, but Honorable, if the response is to tell the state of affairs as far as where it has stopped, not necessarily detailing out what is before
Honorable
the courts.
Speaker, Standing Order 38 says, a question shall not reflect on the decision of a court of law or be so drafted as to be likely to prejudice a case under trial. Honorable Speaker, there is presumption of innocence. So,
I think we're all aware of that.
My question was written before this man was even arrested and taken to court. So that's why the minister is answering the question.
With that question, I mean, Honorable, are you satisfied with that response?
No,
The minister cannot go into the details.
No, I'm not.
Once the matter is in court, personally, or officially, I am not sure whether it is in court or not. I don't know. But if the matter is in court, the Honorable Minister cannot discuss something that is before the courts. Whether it is on our standing orders or not, that is general, it's a general rule that we are all aware of.
Madam
The
Speaker,
Minister to tell us if it is in
the
court,
matter is
I
currently-
cannot answer the question.
Can I continue? Madam
Sorry?
Speaker, the matter is currently before the court.
It's before the court. Then?
As I said, my question was drafted before the matter was taken to court.
No, but Honorable, if we are being told that the matter is before the court, then obviously we cannot discuss it. Thank you. Honorable Member.